How's it going, everybody? My name is Mr. Strange. Welcome back to the channel. I got this new microphone, so I kind of wanted to post something, a little something. It's a bit of a more serious topic, but it's something I've been wanting to get off my chest for quite a while now. I haven't posted a actual YouTube video, like a longer form video in a long time. I usually stick to shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels, that whole jazz. Which, by the way, we hit 500,000 on Instagram, which is fucking crazy, bro. This is absurd. So feel free to drop a follow to the Instagram and TikTok on my third account now, technically fourth. We are at almost 650,000. So that's also phenomenal. Today's video idea was brought to me from a situation that happened with a content creator known as Angry Reactions, who was arrested for an alleged domestic dispute a few months ago, I believe. A few months ago. I have to check the pussy-ass TMZ article. Looking a bit deeper into the situation, it seems like Onea, if I'm pronouncing that right, was falsely accused and got arrested for no reason. Police kind of just put the handcuffs on the black guy, yeah, and brought him to jail, which is tragic. And we had a shit ton. We had a shit ton of creators make TikToks and YouTube videos surrounding the arrest and the initial allegation, and turned out the case was dropped, and he's presumably innocent, which does not, in fact, undo the damage done to his name. He will forever, unfortunately, be known from the situation. This situation will follow him for the remainder of his online presence, which is, I wish that wasn't the case, but unfortunately I believe that to be. The topic of today's video will be how to respond to allegations. Now, time and time again, we have YouTubers, TikTok creators, coaches at your local high school. People will get accused. Time and time again, we've seen YouTubers. Time and time again, we've seen influencers exposed for very shitty behavior that they have been partaking behind closed doors. And this is not new. Rock stars and celebrities back in the day, before the internet was even a thing, were doing very creepy things. It's no surprise, because there was no internet at the time, no one to hold them accountable, and now we have this beautiful yet terrifying thing known as the internet that holds everyone accountable for any wrongdoing they do, which unfortunately goes a little bit beyond the lines sometimes and starts to hold people accountable that haven't done anything wrong. I think that society has made great strides in holding those who actually do bad things accountable. What was going on in the past with rock stars and musicians in the 50s, 60s, I'm sure everyone was diddling children and all that mishap. Now it's a little it's definitely harder to get away with, which is a win, an absolute win. But in the nature of the Me Too movement and the nature of how we believe all victims, I put quotes. I'll touch on that in a minute here. There are very scummy people out in the world that will take this opportunity to try to destroy your reputation, even if it's undeserved, especially if it's undeserved. If you're a content creator trying to flirt with people or date or be involved in the dating scene, you have to triple, quadruple watch your back and make sure to cross your T's and dot your I's. It's a cruel world, and even if you were very careful with what you do, and you're making sure not to cross any boundaries or make anybody feel uncomfortable, at the end of the day, people have their own stories. And if you date somebody and you're a creator, you are giving that power to that other person to make a claim about you. As long as they can prove that they met you and they know you, that's all they need. They don't need to prove that you've done anything. They could just say whatever the fuck comes to their mind first and expect the internet to believe the victim. Fortunately or unfortunately, I know a thing or two about a false accusation. And the number one thing to do when you are accused as a content creator is, drumroll please, you don't ever respond to it. That is how you beat allegations. You don't ever. When a lawyer, I don't know if you've ever had an experience with a lawyer. Maybe you've watched Better Call Saul or seen skips or seen parts of Breaking Bad. You would see that what a lawyer does as soon as you get into contact with them, the first thing they tell you is to shut your mouth. You do not speak a single word to anybody about what you're going through, because anything can be used against you. That's part of your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can be used against you in the court of law. So if you get accused of something, the natural response when you didn't do it is to get defensive. You're like, hey, what the fuck? You're accusing me? I didn't do that shit. I'm not that type of person. You've seen it. I've seen guilty people do that too. It's the first thing. You don't want people to think that you're a criminal. But unfortunately, what you say is not about to undo what's happening. You can't plead your innocence to a police officer upon being arrested. That's not going to do anything. You can only make things worse for yourself. And that's exactly how the internet is. If whatever you say or do will be used against you in the court of public opinion, that is without a doubt, ever. And people like to say, and upon receiving an accusation, people, that first wave of hate, of morally justified hatred will come your way. That wave of people trying to hold you accountable, like, hey, you're a piece of shit, you're a horrible individual, and you should XXY, XCY, X, whatever they tell you should do. And that initial wave of hate is a lot to deal with. Like I said, I can speak from experience. It's very strong, and it can make you jump to. It makes you want to scream. It makes you want to. It's a very cornerbacking experience, and it makes you want to scream your innocence, right? It makes you want to say, hey, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I'm on your side. I completely understand. But they're not the way to go about it is you need to tell yourself, these people that are trying to hold you accountable, they don't care about your best interest. They are not worried about you being held accountable. They just want to feel morally justified in calling you out. In fact, they just want you to speak and spill and try to make you, and so that they have more to attack you with, because it's an emotional thing. When you're accused of something, you get emotional. This shit is not funny. To some people like to make jokes about accusing people, and some people think it's funny. It's not a fucking joke. It's a life ruining thing. Children touchers, they go to prison. They die in prison. A lot of them die. Children touchers, and rightfully so. Honestly, rightfully so. Hot take. It's the accusation of doing anything criminal that is like this sticky goo that will, once collided with you, it's like there's no getting rid of it, unfortunately. And it sucks because it's so fast and you don't expect it to have such a big toll if there's no proof, right? But it's not, especially in the court of public opinion, it's not innocent till proven guilty. It's guilty until proven innocent. When the first thing to do when you're accused is, like I said, you keep your mouth shut. You don't ever respond. You don't do absolutely anything, okay? I do have to say it depends on the severity. If you were singing a rap song and you said the N-word in the middle of the song, and you were live streaming and someone clipped you and now you're trending on Twitter, I believe that's something you might be okay with apologizing for. You maybe start up a video, do your traditional YouTuber apology where, I didn't mean to say it, and get along. No, don't make excuses, just keep it pushing. And maybe, you're always going to hear about it. You're always going to hear about it, but you see, it's not as damaging. If you get accused of anything serious, anything that could stop you from getting hired, or anything that could stop you from attending a college or anything like that, or you should never ever respond. Do not film that video. Do not respond to that comment. Just delete them, ignore them, do whatever the fuck you need to do to keep your fucking mouth shut, pussy. It's that's unfortunately what we have to do. It's not about proving to the supporters that you're innocent. If there is a lack of evidence, and if there is a lack of evidence on the situation, and your supporters are dumb enough to believe an accusation, then they're a lost cause. They weren't. Would you really damage your reputation more by trying to convert a hater back into a fan? It's not worth it. If they believe such a silly claim without any evidence, then that's probably not somebody you want on your side. That's probably not somebody you want as a fan of you. If they're very easily manipulated. This topic is so touchy because this can happen to literally anybody. A lot of YouTubers think they're immune to it. There's a variety of different YouTubers that I could think of that have this like pristine reputation because they probably do like commentary shit like this, and they call out kid touchers or abusers or criminals, and they build this audience of virtue signalers, and it's just, they are not that YouTuber is not immune to an accusation. Had that person been in a school once and stepped on a bug or accidentally bumped somebody in the hallway, and that person props up their phone and says, "Hey, I knew so and so back when we were in kindergarten, and he was really mean. He bumped into this girl in the hallway, or he stepped on this caterpillar that was trying to get back to their kids. He was a very sadistic individual ever since we were 9." Or anybody could do that. You watching this are not free from an accusation. Any of you can get accused. Anybody can get accused. It's about how you handle it is what matters. Moral of the story, if I haven't said it multiple times as of right now, you don't say anything. You keep your mouth shut. Because in the eyes of the public, if you are trying to prove that you're innocent, it only just makes you look more guilty. Keep it pushing. It hurts. It's going to hurt really bad. But eventually you'll be okay. And the people that matter in your life are the ones you turn to. The people that matter should have your back. And if they don't have your back, they don't matter. Remember that. You're gonna lose friends. You're gonna lose sponsors. You're gonna lose brand deals. You're gonna lose a good reputation, maybe. And it's important to separate yourself from the internet. And eventually you'll make it through and you'll be fine. The people who make false accusations are smart people. The people who make false accusations are very tactical people. For whatever reason, they choose to do that to you. There will not be a reason. There will not be a justifiable reason to ever lie on someone's name. But some people are very hurt individuals. Some people have that limit. And maybe you blocking them, maybe you ignoring them, maybe you cursing at them, maybe that's their limit. And they'll do their best to fuck your career up and fuck your life up. So don't respond. Don't fire up the live stream. Don't think that you're about to plead your case to anybody, because someone's screen recording you. Someone's screen recording you, and they're only going to edit out the parts that make you look good. And they'll keep the parts that make you look terrible. They'll keep the parts that make you look emotional and guilty. And it's a fucked up world, but it's not for the weakest, you know? It's a very touchy subject. Like I said, it's a very touchy subject. And it's not, no one wants to be falsely accused. But it's something like, if you are talking to enough people, if you're being a little whore, you're gonna have a few crazies in the mix. It's just undeniable. There's no avoiding it. It's inevitable. You're gonna have a crazy bitch that runs their mouth about you behind closed doors. And some people, they like to, instead of talking about it to their friends, it's not enough. They'll want to go and push it further. This needs to be public. I need validation from strangers. But yeah, eventually, with time, lots of time, and the right people around, you'll be dandy. You'll be okay. Peachy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As you can see, I'm in love with this new microphone. It's so sweet boy. Look out for more YouTube videos, because I do want to post, but I get lazy, if I'm being honest. So I'll talk to y'all when I talk to y'all. Follow me everywhere. I'll link everything below. And goodbye.